This video is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor Mr. Roldan Ardines to use this as an educational material.
The main objectives of this topic is to analyze how these stages influence cultural exchange and global connectivity, to discuss how local cultures adapt to resist or blend with global influences, to explain how media acts as a catalyst for global interconnectedness, to evaluate pros and cons of media globalization, to assess whether economic and political globalization could occur without mass media, and to assess whether economic and political globalization could occur without mass media. So we will now move on to the history and stages of global media and culture. Global media and culture have evolved through 6 major stages. The first one is the oral and manuscript cultures, from prehistoric to 15th century. Communication relied on oral traditions, later evolving with writing systems like cuneiform and hieroglyphics. Manuscripts preserve cultural and religious knowledge. The second one is the print revolution from 15th to 19th century. The printing press enabled mass production of books and newspapers, increasing the literacy and spreading ideas during the Renaissance, Reformation, and Enlightenment period. The third one is the rise of mass media from 19th to early 20th century. Industrial advances led to newspapers, magazines, and radio, revolutionizing journalism and global communication.
So before we proceed, I am John Ray Dikdikan and I'm here to discuss the fourth one. And number 4, television and the globalization of media. Television became the dominant medium for entertainment, news, and advertising. The rise of broadcast networks and satellite television enabled real-time global communication. Events such as the moon landing, the fall of the Berlin, and live sport broadcast became shared cultural experiences. This period also saw the emergence of multi-nation media cooperation, expanding the reach of the Western media to the global audience. Number 5. The digital and internet age. The rise of the internet revolutionized media consumption. Online platforms, social media, and digital streaming services reshape communication, allowing for instant global connectivity. Traditional media faced challenges from digital alternatives like blogs, podcasts, and YouTube. The 21st century also saw the spread of citizen journalism, where individuals could share their news and options without relying on traditional media outlets. Lastly, the future of global media, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality. Advancement in AI, virtual reality, and augmented reality are shaping the future of media. AI-driven algorithms personalize content consumptions, while VR and AR create immersive experience. The rise of deepfake technology, AI-generated content, and the metaverse is expected to transform how people interact with media. As technology continues to evolve, ethical concern about misinformation, data privacy, and digital divide will become increasingly important.
Various media play a crucial role in driving global integration by connecting people, cultures, economies, and politics across borders. Social media platforms like TikTok and Twitter spread cultural trends and social movements worldwide, fostering cultural integration. News networks such as CNN and BBC provides global coverage of political events, influencing international relations, and public opinions. Streaming services like Netflix and Spotify promote cross-cultural entertainment, making foreign films, music to show accessible to global audience.
Local and global interact dynamically, shaping how cultures are preserved, adapt, and globalized across film, television, music, and digital platforms. Whereas local cultural production is shaped by distinct tradition, language, costume, and experiences of a particular community, and it is deeply tied to the place and people from which it originates. For example, Bleach Anime because it is deeply rooted in Japanese traditions, language, and artistic style, making it a distinct part of Japan's cultural identity. And global cultural production refers to cultural products that have wide appeal and can be consumed across multiple countries and cultures and make them accessible worldwide. Example anime because anime become a global cultural phenomenon due to its worldwide reach and influence and ability to resonate with diverse audiences. Anime has transcended national borders through Netflix, making it accessible to millions of people.
The role of media in globalization. Number one, facilitating global communication. Media helps people around the world connect and share information quickly. News, social media, and TV makes it easier to know what's happening in different countries. And then number two, spreading culture and ideas. Movies, music, and social media help spread cultures and traditions across the world. People can experience different lifestyles, fashion, and languages without traveling. The number three, digital media and the internet. The internet has made information easily available. Social media, online news, and streaming services allow instant access to global events and entertainment. Number four, driving economic and political globalization. Businesses and governments use media to promote trade, investments, and policies. Companies advertise products worldwide and leaders communicate their ideas globally. And then lastly, number five, mobilizing social and political movements. Media helps people unite for causes like human rights, climate change, and democracy. Protests, petitions, and campaigns gain support through social media and news coverage.
I have some list here, the pros of media globalization. The first is the cultural exchange and awareness. It is the sharing of traditions, values, and customs between different cultures, leading to greater understanding and appreciation. For example, K-pop music gaining popularity worldwide, so influencing fashion and entertainment in various countries. Then the next is the instant global communication. The instant global communication is the ability to communicate with people across the world in real time. So even though you have loved ones in different countries, or for example you are in the USA and then your parents is in the Japan, so via these apps or like video call, you can communicate them through Messenger, Zoom, or WhatsApp, allow to communicate your families. So businesses and educators to connect instantly across the contents. Then the third is the economic opportunities. The economic opportunities, the creation of new jobs, businesses, and markets due to globalization and digital advancement. So for example is the freelance from India or the Philippines working for USA or European companies through platforms like Upwork. Then the next is to access to information. It is the ability to quick obtain knowledge and data from anywhere in the world. For example, Google and Wikipedia allow students and professionals to find information instantly on any topic. So because of them, or because of that Google or the Wikipedia, so because of that we can find any information through Google or any YouTube or any tutorials. Then the next is the education. The education is improved access to learning resources and international collaborations in academics. For example, online courses from platforms like Coursera or Khan Academy enables students to learn from top universities without leaving their homes. So though way back on the during COVID-19, so all students or the schools are shift to on blended learning like online class. So that's the part of the international collaborations in academics. Then the last one is the social and political activism. The use of digital platforms to advocate for social and political causes. For example, the movement like Me Too Me and the Black Lives Matter spread globally through social media, raising awareness and drive change.
Today, I will discuss the disadvantages of globalization. While it has brought economic growth, it also has negative effects on society, workers, and the environment. Let's look at some major issues. First is we have economic inequality. Globalization benefits rich countries more than poor ones. Many developing nations export raw materials but don't profit as much as wealthier nations that process and sell these goods. Second is we have loss of local culture. As Western brands and media spread, traditional cultures are disappearing. For example, like McDonald's. McDonald's have replaced many traditional food businesses worldwide. Third is we have exploitation of labor. Many multinational companies take advantage of cheap labor in developing countries. For example, in Bangladesh, garment workers earn very little while making clothes for big brands. Next is we have environmental damage. Global trade and mass production contribute to pollution and climate change. For example, the Amazon rainforest is being destroyed to meet global demand for soy and beef. And then we have job loss in some countries. Where globalization creates jobs in some countries, causes unemployment in others. For example, in the US, many car manufacturers move their factories to Mexico and Asia for cheaper labor, leaving thousands of American workers jobless. And lastly, we have the spread of crisis. Globalization makes crisis spread faster. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic spread worldwide due to global travel, causing a global economic and health crisis. In conclusion, globalization has drawbacks like economic inequality, cultural loss, worker exploitation, environmental harm, job losses, and faster crisis spread. While it has benefits, we must find ways to reduce its negative effects.
But before we dive into that question, I will define first what is media. So media refers to the various means of communication. For example, television, radio, and newspapers are different types of media. The term media can also be used as a collective noun for the press or the news reporting agencies. So there are types of media. First is print media, include books, magazines, and newspapers. The second is a broadcast media, involves radio, film, and television. The last one is a digital media, include email, internet sites, social media, and internet-based video and audio. So now let's answer the question, is there globalization without media? As all we know, media plays a significant role in facilitating globalization, but it is possible to have some forms of globalization without media, such as trade and commerce. Global trade and commerce have existed for centuries, and they have always found ways to connect with each other, to exchange goods and services across borders. While some forms of globalization can exist without media, modern media has undoubtedly accelerated and amplified the process. Media facilitate globalization in several ways. One is information dissemination. Media enables the rapid dissemination of information across borders, facilitating the exchange of ideas, cultures, and values. The second is global connectivity. Media platforms such as social media, such as social media, messaging apps, and video conferencing tools enable people to connect with each other across borders, fostering global communication and collaboration. In conclusion, while some forms of globalization can exist without media, modern media has significantly contributed to the acceleration and amplification of globalization. Media facilitates the exchange of information and enables global connectivity.
Before I answer that, let's understand what is cultural imperialism means. Cultural imperialism happens when a powerful culture dominates and replaces local cultures. This often happens through media, language, and consumer products. Over time, unique traditions and ways of life can be lost. For example, imagine a town where people have their own way of dressing, speaking, and telling stories. One day, big TV channels and streaming platforms from another country start showing their movies, music, and news in the town. People get hooked. Slowly, they start dressing, speaking, and thinking more like the people in those shows. This is cultural imperialism, when one culture, usually a powerful one, spreads so much that it starts replacing local traditions. But hold on. Media globalization is not always a cultural imperialism. Sometimes, instead of replacing a culture, people mix new media with their own traditions. For example, Bollywood takes inspiration from Hollywood but still keeps Indian culture alive. This is called cultural hybridization, where culture mix instead of being erased. So what's the answer? Media globalization can be cultural imperialism when one culture dominates others, but it can also lead to a beautiful mix of cultures instead of erasing them.
Is media globalization a form of cultural imperialism? To start with, what is this media globalization? So, it is the process where media content, technologies, and industry transcend national borders, creating a worldwide flow of what we call information and cultures. As for the cultural imperialism, it is tackled already by Cadet Reyes previously. So, media globalization can be considered a form of cultural imperialism because it is often leads to the dominance of certain cultures, especially the Western ones, like United Nations, United States, or Europe, over others through the widespread of dissemination of media contexts. The global reach of media outlets, films, television shows, music, and social media platforms which are produced in the West can overpower local cultures. This cultural dominance influences people's values, behavior, and consumption patterns, often replacing indigenous traditions and their language.